Hello, I'm Game Retainer, and in this video I'll be going over some of the more difficult POIs to clear out in 7 Days to Die. This video will cover some of the tier 4 POIs. I have made a video covering all of the tier 5 POIs and I'll link it up there. But since some of the tier 4 POIs, especially during infested clear missions, can be very difficult, I figured we'd cover them as well. So with that said, let's jump straight in. Up first we've got Good Life Apartments, and as you can see, it's on stilts, which is pretty cool. To enter this one, you'll need to go through the back, and in my opinion, while this isn't particularly difficult to clear, it is one of the more interesting tier 4 POIs because it does tell a very clear story of a group of survivors who obviously didn't survive. There's plenty of stuff to grab in each of the rooms, especially if you come here with a wrench. But as you make your way up through each of the levels, you'll see more and more barricades, which were presumably put down by former survivors, now zombies. As for the main loot, you'll need to make your way up to the roof. Because of the way this one's laid out, if you do just want to nerd pole your way up and grab the loot, then it's relatively easy. You will trigger a swath of zombies up here, but it's not that difficult, in my opinion. Be sure to check out both sides of the roof because the loot is quite spread out. Super Shamway has a really cool post-apocalyptic feel to it. It's filled with burn victims, and that's because, as you can see, there's been some kind of explosion. My guess is that this is a bomb that was dropped during an attempt to contain the virus, but as for the building itself, it's pretty structurally sound. You'll find plenty of produce baskets, which is great for those who need more flesh for their farms. You will also find lots and lots of shelves which have a variety of goodies on. You will need to do a little bit of parkour to make your way through this one as the game intends, but in my opinion it's not all that tricky. This store does have a small pop-in pills in the back, but unfortunately it's not very well stocked. If you do want to come and grab the main loot but you don't want to make your way through the whole POI, then you can come to the back and break any of these refrigerators here, and you'll be pretty much there at the loot. Couple of other things to note with this one. There is a crate on the roof, so make sure you go and grab that. And once you're done clearing the POI, make your way up here and you can press this button here to open up the doors below. Just in the town of departure, right next to Vanity Tower, you'll find Olgiddy and Brother advertising. Now, I don't think this one gets mentioned all that often, and I've not really had this one given out as missions either, but it's a pretty interesting POI. Since this is an office style building, there's plenty of stuff to break down with a wrench, and there's more than a handful of filing cabinets and desks to search for some extra magazines and books. Compared to many of the other tier 4 POIs, this one is very open and easy to navigate. You're very unlikely to get lost in this one. Also, because of the way the stairs are lined up, it's pretty good for horde nights. If you don't have a place to go, you can just stand up here and fire down. Making your way up to the roof, you'll find the main loot. You will need to press this button here to open the door, but there it is. Just like with the first entry, because of where the loot's situated, you can just nerd pole up the side of the building and grab it and run away, and if you want to do that, who am I to stop you? Up next we have Butcher Pete's, and this is one of my personal favourites because I'm pretty certain this is a reference to Fallout. There's a little more going on inside this butcher's shop than you might think. As you make your way upstairs, you'll see lots of remains and candles, and it's very, very creepy. The basement is where you'll find the main loot, but if you're clearing this as the developers intended, then you'll need to make your way up to the attic, and then climb down this elevator shaft. Down here, not only will you find the main loot, but you'll also find more remains and body bags, which just adds to the whole creepiness of this one. Once you've grabbed the main loot, you can open up these shutters here via this button and leave the building. Opening up those shutters will also open up this roller door here, which shows some more creepiness that was going on inside. Next is Aranea Caverns, if that's how you even pronounce it, and this is great for all of those miners out there. You'll find all of the ore types in here, including shale, which you normally only find really in the desert. Making your way in, it's not that big of a place to explore, and in my opinion, it's not that difficult to clear. As I said, you'll find every ore type in here, which is quite nice, especially if you're trying to complete those mining challenges. The reason why I think this one's easy to clear is because the zombies down here don't actually spawn until you jump off the platform. So if you've got a couple of points in parkour, you can jump down and jump back up to safety, or you can just try and shoot one of them from there, and you'll be pretty safe while taking them down. There's the main loot, as you can see. There are also a few construction boxes, so make sure you break open those for some extra goodies. Whilst you're in the main loot room, there is also a little backpack in here, and while it's not great, it's better than nothing. Once you've cleared it and made your way up to the back, then you can open the door with this key here. If you're feeling lazy and you don't want to make your way through the POI, then come round to the back of this little mountain and dig down anywhere on here. And you'll end up inside the cave. There's a lot going on in Heart to Rent a Car, because not only is it a car rental place, but there's also a cracker book and a coffee store, all in the same little POI, which is pretty interesting. To follow the correct path, you need to make your way in through the staff-only door, and then through and up and down the POI. You will need to go up to the very top, and then down to the very bottom again. In here, you'll find some apartments with a few bookshelves, which is quite nice. And once you've made it into the little cracker book area, it's fairly well stocked, especially since it's only a small store. There's quite a lot of books here. You can find the main loot at the back of the garage, and if you're not sure where the garage is, then I can show you that it's very close to the entrance. If you don't want to go through the whole POI, then I would recommend maybe breaking down a couple of these here. They do have 5,000 hit points each block, but with a good pickaxe or an auger, it's not going to take you long to get inside. And once you're in, if you really want, you can press the button over here and open up the roller door. Very close to the border of the pine forest is NDC Checkpoint 3, and this one has kind of fallen from grace. The reason for that is it used to be one of only 2 locations that was guaranteed to spawn the supercorn recipe, but that's no longer the case for this one. While it doesn't have the supercorn recipe anymore, there are plenty of cars to break down, a couple of tents where you can get a decent amount of cloth, and a whole lot of medical equipment, which is really good if you're a keen salvager. Since it is a military checkpoint, there are more than a few soldiers in this one, and if you follow the POI like you're supposed to, you'll end up dropping down into the main building with no real way out. As soon as you head into the main room where the loot is, all hell breaks loose. There are soldiers, mutated zombies, and just a plethora of unkindness. If you are quick, then you can press this button and run out through the door and then take them on a little bit easier, but even then it can be a bit of a challenge. I like the military checkpoints in the game because I think they're great for getting all sorts of parts and components, and you do tend to walk away with a decent amount of loot. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video interesting. If you'd like me to make another one where I go over some more of the tier 4 POIs, then let me know down below. I will leave a link to my Discord in a pinned comment, so if you want to join that and get in touch, then feel free. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.